reason I'm doing one video for these two movies is because, well, these movies don't deserve their own separate video.
I see it, and now it's all within my reach. I see it now. It's always been inside of me. And now I feel so free. And there's possibility. And there's possibility.
Hello, everyone, and today I'm taking a look at both Scoob and Artemis Fowl. Now, I'll fully admit, I had no plans on seeing these movies in theaters, and after watching these movies, yeah, they feel like straight-to-DVD movies. I'm not even joking. But, yeah, I only watched these two films because ever since the pandemic started, I couldn't watch a new movie that came out this year. So when these two movies came straight to DVD, or, straight to digital, I was like, sure, I'll give these two movies a watch. And I did, and they weren't very good. But we're going to start off with Scoob. Scoob is the new movie that's based off of the Scooby-Doo brand, and is the start to the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. Why do they want to make a cinematic universe of Hanna-Barbera cartoons? Because ever since Marvel made a success with the MCU, every other company wants to have their own cinematic universe, just to say, hey, we have our own cinematic universe, therefore we're now the hot new thing, you know what I mean? And, yeah, this wasn't very good. But in terms of plot, the movie starts off with how Scooby met Shaggy and how they met the Mystery Gang, and, yeah, it cuts to a few years later, where Scooby and Shaggy get kicked out of Mystery Inc., and they meet up with Blue Falcon, and they're trying to stop Dick Dastardly from finding 3 MacGuffins to evil things. But, yeah, the plot is not very good. And I know this is a kid's movie, but still, this is Scooby-Doo, and it doesn't feel like a mystery. You know, the gang is called the Mystery Incorporated, but they don't really do a mystery. They're just trying to find 3 MacGuffins to stop the villain. Seriously? It's like the director and the writers said this.
I won't let you do any detective work, or deduction, or mystery solving, or anything!
Now, before I continue to rag on this movie, let me give out my few positives. First off, the animation is pretty good. It's nothing groundbreaking, but for what it is, it's pretty good. Some jokes were funny, and also back to the animation, I do like some of the locations they go to, like the abandoned, carnival. That was pretty cool. And also, I do like how at the start of the movie, they actually do a recreation of the classic intro. That was pretty nice. And also, I do like the villain Dick Dastardly. He was pretty fun, and the voice actor was having a lot of fun in the role. And yeah, I liked him. He was the only character I really liked in this movie at all. But still, that's where my few positives end. First off, now, I know it sounds weird, but the problem with this movie is Mystery Inc. It doesn't feel like we know a lot about them in this movie. And before you say, oh, Sean, if you watch other Scooby-Doo movies, you know what these characters are like. And yes, I grew up with Scooby-Doo, but this is a new entry in the Scooby-Doo series, and it feels like we hardly know anything about them. Now, I'll fully admit, going into this movie, I knew that Scooby and Shaggy would take up most of the runtime compared to the other three, because let's be honest, Scooby and Shaggy are the most marketable and the most profitable, so yeah, I had no problems with them being in the movie a lot. But still, with Fred, Daphne, and Velma, they were just sort of there, really. And most of them were just doing these unfunny jokes, like Netflix reference, which wasn't good, and this part where, like, Fred was doing an imitation of Velma, it just wasn't that funny at all. And also, what was the point of other characters in this movie? Like, seriously, back to what I said earlier about this movie not feeling like a mystery, it feels like a superhero movie with Blue Falcon, and it just feels weird almost, you know what I mean? It just feels like they don't belong in this movie with Blue Falcon and Dick Dastardly. It feels like two separate films, you know what I mean? And also, it doesn't help the fact that other than Dick Dastardly, I didn't care about any other character in the movie, aside from maybe Scooby. He was sort of good. And also, I know people have complained about the change in voice actors for the other members of Mystery Inc. besides Scooby, since they have the original guy there. But, man, it feels kind of weird. none of the other new voices for Mystery Inc. feel natural to me. Seriously, it's kind of weird how they got Zac Efron to be Fred when, back in the old days, Scooby and Fred were voiced by the same person, and they have the person who's still voicing Scooby in this movie, so why not just have him also play Fred? You know what I mean? And also, I know people complain about Will Forte as Shaggy, but yeah, he wasn't very good in this movie compared to Matthew Lillard. It just doesn't feel like Shaggy, and it just feels so off. In fact, there's this one scene in the movie that made me roll my eyes, and they do that cliche thing where in the middle of the movie, the two main characters who are best friends fight over something pointless, and then 5 minutes later, they're all like, I am so sorry for what I did. We are still best friends, right? Yep, we sure are. They do that in this movie. Why? Because Scooby had to take off a collar for 5 seconds, even though Scooby can just put it back on when he was done. Seriously, this whole thing could have been avoided. It's weird almost. I thought in the Sonic movie they were going to do that cliche, but they didn't. And here with the Scoob movie, I thought they wouldn't do that cliche, but they did do that cliche.
Ironic.
Yeah, see what I mean? And also, you want to know why Scooby and Shaggy were kicked off of Mystery Inc.? Because Simon Cowell, yes, he actually makes a cameo in this movie. He went from cameoing in Shrek 2 to cameoing in this movie. What happened to you, man? What happened?
Look, here's the
We're gonna be
thing.
fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of in that.
And basically tells them they can't be on the gang no more because they're goofballs. And look, I get it. Yes, they are goofballs. But back to what I said earlier about this is a new interpretation of the characters, we hardly know anything about these versions. And while yes, they do show a montage of the gang in the, like I said earlier about them recreating the whole intro to the original Scooby-Doo series, the most we get out of Scooby and Shaggy not doing a good job is them just being scared, not really worth being kicked off the gang, and Scooby and Shaggy just decide to leave because they think that they would do that, even though Fred, Daphne, and Velma were all like, no, we're not kicking them off. So, yeah. And also, some of the other characters didn't care about them. Captain Falcon, I mean Blue Falcon, sorry, I've been playing a lot of Smash Bros. Recently, is basically just there, and he is really annoying. I know this is Blue Falcon's son, but still, he was just so annoying. And also, he dabs in the movie. Yay! And also, you want to know how Mystery Inc. is able to find where Scooby and Shaggy are? Because Blue Falcon made a tweet on Twitter of him, Scooby, and Shaggy taking a selfie during an action scene. I'm not even joking, that is how the actual plot goes. I am dead serious right now. And, yeah. Because of those stuff, like I mentioned earlier about the whole Twitter thing, it's gonna make this film seem kind of dated in a couple of years, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's the big problem with the movie. It just feels dated already, and it doesn't feel like Scooby-Doo. It has some good ideas, but it just doesn't do a good job of it because it feels like 3 movies all together in one film to start up a cinematic universe. I was really disappointed by this movie. Like, seriously, even though I wasn't going to see this movie in theaters because there were plenty of other things I wanted to see instead, I still can't help but feel just disappointed. Because I want this movie to be good, but it just wasn't. So yeah, overall score, probably a 4 out of 10. It's just not something I would go back to anytime soon. Now it's time to talk about Artemis Fowl, and oh boy. I'm not gonna lie, folks, I almost fell asleep while watching this movie. But still, let's just get this film out of the way, and then I can just, relax. Basically, I've never read the books. I know they're based off of these popular books, but I've never read them at all. So, yeah, but if you are a fan of the books, I am so sorry for you. Basically, the plot of this movie is that it's about this kid named Artemis Fowl who is this super boy genius. They said he's basically the best thing in the world. He's the smartest kid ever, and that he was even able to clone an animal at the age of 9 or something. Basically saying that he's Gary Sue almost, like he's perfect at everything. And one day his father, Artemis Fowl Sr., gets kidnapped by this villain who, I'm not even joking, I forgot his name. He shows up for like what, 20 seconds in the movie. I'm not even joking, guys. And he basically tells Artemis, hey, Artemis, if you want your dad back, get me this MacGuffin that will give me unlimited power and make me the strongest being in the universe, or some villain crap like that. And Artemis wants to find this MacGuffin to get his dad back. And while that's going on, there's also this, like, fairy world going on with Josh Gad. No, I'm not joking. Josh Gad is the narrator of this movie, and he's probably one of the only two interesting characters in the film, even though throughout the entire time he's doing this really deep voice, like he's trying to audition for Batman. I'm not even joking. Watch the movie, because I swear I thought I was watching his audition for Batman 2021. But, sorry, Josh, that role already got taken. Sorry about that. And, yeah, for the first 30 minutes of the movie, I was just like...
What is going on?
Well, I was paying attention, but even I was like, this film has barely a story going on, and it's only an hour and a half long. And it feels a lot longer than that. Like, seriously, the first act is about Artemis trying to find his dad, and then it cuts to, like, this fairy world with this girl who wants to clear her dad's name or something like that. And also, at the end of the movie, there's this big battle at the house where Artemis lives. And you know how, like I said earlier, they want to find this MacGuffin? Well, guess what? There is no adventure in this movie. I'm not even joking. They don't go to any interesting places to find the MacGuffin. It's just in Artemis's house. I don't know if that happened in the books, but if it did, then, well, sorry. But still, it just kind of feels lazy. Like they're just like, okay, we only have about an hour and a half runtime, and we got about say 15 minutes left of the film. Yeah, let's just have the MacGuffin in Artemis's house. There we go. Cut, print, and let's just release the movie on Disney Plus. And yeah, this movie just feels so dull and lifeless. There are only two characters in this movie that I found to be remotely interesting. Well, not interesting. They're just characters that I could remember. That being Artemis, because, well, he's the main character, and in fact, they say his name about 500 times every 2 seconds, and Josh Gad, who plays the, giant dwarf, even though there's a scene where he does this whole thing in his mouth, and I swear, when I saw that scene, I was like, oh god, that looks horrible! Did Disney seriously make this? Really? And, yeah, this movie just feels so emptiness. It just feels so lifeless. And at the end of the movie, they're just like, okay, we're gonna set up for a sequel where Artemis and his dad are gonna team up and take on the black goo guy. I'm not even joking. We don't. I forgot his name. I think it's Opal or something. I think that's his name. If not, then well, I'm sorry. I don't really care to look it up because this movie just wasted my time. And honestly, it's an hour and a half I am never going to get back in my life. I can say the same for that and Scoob. But yeah, not much to say about Artemis Fowl, really. It's just sort of not good. Honestly, I would not watch this movie ever again. In fact, I wouldn't recommend anyone to watch this, because it just doesn't have anything. The action, I was bored during the action scenes, and I was just like, you know, it's times like these where I'm honestly just like, what am I doing with my life? And yeah, overall, Artemis Fowl is probably like a 2 or 3 out of 10. It's just something I would not recommend for anyone to sit down and watch. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you all later.